True, nervous. Very, very dreadfully nervous I had been, and still am. But why would you say that I'm mad? Hearken and observe how healthily, how calmly I can tell you the whole story. I loved the old man. He had never wronged me. He had never given me insult. For his gold I had no desire. I think it was his eye! Whenever it fell upon me, my blood ran cold. And so by degrees, very gradually, I made up my mind to take the life of the old man, and thus rid myself of the eye forever. I was never kinder to the old man than during the whole week before I killed him. And every night, about midnight, I turned the latch of his door and opened it, to think that there I was, opening the door, little by little, and he not even to dream upon my secret deeds or thoughts. Upon the 8th night, I was more than usually cautious in opening the door. I had my head in, was about to open the lantern when my thumb slipped upon the tin fastening. The old man sprang up in the bed, crying out, "Who's there?" He shrieked once only. For many minutes, the heart beat on with a muffled sound. This, however, did not rest. We were not even to the wall. At length it ceased. The old man was dead. His eye would trouble me no more. I then replaced it with so clever, so cunning, that no human, not even his, could detect anything wrong. As the bells sounded the hour, there came a knocking at the street door. I went down to open it with a light heart, for what had I now to fear? There entered 3 men who introduced themselves with perfect suavity as officers of the police. A shriek had been heard by a neighbor during the night. Suspicion of foul play had been aroused. I smiled, for what had I to fear? I bade the gentleman welcome. The shriek, I said, was my own in a dream. The old man I mentioned was absent in the country. I took my visitors all over his house. I bade them search well. I led them at length to his chamber. I showed them his treasures, secure and undisturbed. In the enthusiasm of my confidence, I brought chairs into the room, desired them here to rest from their fatigues, while I myself, in the wild audacity of my perfect triumph, placed my own seat upon the very spot beneath which reposed the corpse of the victim. They sat, and while I answered cheerily, they chatted of familiar things, but ere long, I felt myself getting pale, and wished them gone. My head ached, and I fancied a ringing in my ears. But still they sat, and still chatted. The ring became more distinct, but it continued and gained definitiveness, till at length I found that the noise was not within my ears. It was a low, dull, quick sound, much such as sounds of watchmen when enveloped in cotton. I gasped for breath, yet the officers heard it not. I talked more quickly, More vehemently, the noise steadily increased. I paced the floor to and fro with heavy strides, as if excited to fury by the observations of the men. The noise steadily increased. What could I do? I foamed, I raved, I swore. I swung the chair upon which I had been sitting. I grated it upon the boards. And the noise arose over all. It continually increased. It grew louder, louder, louder. And still the men chatted pleasantly, smiled. Was it possible they heard not? No, they heard. They suspected. They knew. They were making a mockery of my horror. But anything was better than this agony. Anything more tolerable than this derision. I could bear those hypocritical smiles no longer. I felt that I must scream or die. And now, again, hark, louder. Louder, 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 louder! Villains! I shrieked. Dissemble no more. I admit the deed. Tear up the planks. Here, here! It is the beating of his hideous heart.